he would just said, okay, I have to really learn Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to Thailand.
I know.
So he went to Thailand, and I followed his Instagram journey. You know, I'm watching all his training footage, and he just fell in love with Thailand. And then he came back, and I'm like, this motherfucker's fight like a Thai.
Yeah, so about that whole Thailand thing, either it's exaggerated or it takes another 2 years to properly kick in. Maybe that's something else. I believe that the cards are massively stacked against Khalil Rountree Jr., and I'm going to tell you exactly why. But to do that, we're going to have to start with Khalil's background and then move to the X's and O's of the fight with Alex Pereira. Khalil Rountree doesn't have anything in the way of impressive wins. If we look at his most recent win, Anthony Smith, he was getting outboxed in that fight, and also a gust of wind could probably knock out Anthony Smith. I'm probably going to pick Reyes against Smith at 309. So to take that guy to the third round, and in the third round still be losing boxing exchanges, and at times getting out leg kicked, Anthony Smith has a very good jab and rear leg kick, rear calf kick. So then we go to the fight before that. Chris Daukaus, not in the UFC anymore. He was moving down from heavyweight to light heavyweight, draining himself pretty bad. Chris Daukaus is one of those guys that would really benefit from like a cruiserweight division, like a 225-pound division. We don't have that. So he has to pick between being an undersized heavyweight and barely making light heavyweight. At heavyweight, Chris Daukaus got cracked by Derek Lewis, Curtis Blades, and someone else who I'm missing. So already not a good sign. Draining himself to light heavyweight made it even worse. We go another fight back. Dustin Jacoby. I think Jacoby won. Split decision, very close fight. I could see why you'd give it to Khalil, but Dustin was more consistent. Khalil would throw big kind of looping hooks on the guard, right? So you go volume over damage, but I think Dustin was more consistent throughout the fight, and I think he won more rounds. And then the two wins before that, Karl Roberson, Modestas Bukauskas, not great opponents. A sidekick to the knee, okay, the guy was kind of not very dynamic anyways, so he couldn't really use footwork to counter the leg kicks and the stomps of Khalil. The Karl Roberson win is one of those performances where everybody says, oh, he owed him money. He beat him up like he owed him money. Where's Karl Roberson now? A guy who went 4-6 in the UFC, now he's doing game-bred bare-knuckle MMA, right? That's not a win who inspires confidence, okay? So that's the win streak he's getting a title shot off of. Didn't beat Jamal Hill. If he would have beat Jamal, fine, you get a title shot. That's a former champion. That's a win that means something. But if you look at the way Khalil's career was going before this, it's just red flags all over the place here. Starts his career 0-2, losing to Andrew Sanchez, tough winner, and Tyson Pedro. Okay, not awful losses. Beats Daniel Jolly and beats Paul Craig, who every time he goes out there, it's a 50-50 if he can grapple or hit a Hail Mary submission. Okay. Loses to Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. Mikhail gets flagged for PEDs after. Still losing to Mikhail, not a good look. Mikhail just lost to Sharaputin Magomedov. He's not great either. Beats Gohan Saki, which at the time was massive. Oh, this regular average dude is beating a glory kickboxer. Who could have seen that coming? But in hindsight, Gohan just wasn't one of those kickboxers that really translated well to MMA. No grappling, and he sucked in the clinch. But Khalil beat him on the feet. Oh, isn't that great? And then people are saying, oh, Khalil already beat one glory kickboxer. He'll beat another. Okay, guys, let's calm down here. He loses the next one to Johnny Walker. Kind of weird. A little bit of a bad loss. And then he goes to Thailand. Oh my God, he goes to Thailand. That's crazy. Comes back, and he goes to a decision with Eric Anders, but it's such good Muay Thai. He went to Thailand, and he immersed himself in the culture, whatever that means. Loses to Ion Cutelaba in his next fight. Gets grappled, taken down, beat up on the feet first, and then taken down and elbowed from mount. And then at UFC 257, he loses to Marcin Prachnio. What the heck, man? Where'd this high-level Muay Thai go? Suddenly he can't strike against Prachnio and Cutelaba, right? Pretty bad losses in hindsight. So, from his losses, his gas tank isn't phenomenal. Light heavyweight, the bar is usually pretty low. Rountree was a big dude, and then he cut down. I wonder how he did it. I wonder how he lost so much weight and put on so much muscle at the same time. But he has a weakness, and it's his chin against kind of wild strikers. What else do I have down in bullet points here? Known crier? That's not a good sign. So we've looked at the past. Let's take a look at the present. Let's dissect the now. I believe that right now, Khalil loses to just about everybody ranked above him, except maybe Jamal and Volkan Ozdemir, the only people who are willing to strike and won't take him down at all, and they aren't as wild as a Yuri Prochazka. I think Yuri Prochazka has that Johnny Walker factor, where he'll just walk through shots and throw crazy elbows and shit. This week I've been thinking a lot about undeserved title shots and underdogs going into title fights, and you can see it from a mile away that at least Holly Holm had kind of an X factor. TJ Dillashaw, Leon Edwards, right? You know that these people, they at least have a way of winning. Holly Holm, she can outstrike her because Ronda's striking sucks. TJ Dillashaw, he's got kind of weird boxing and he can mix up the wrestling. And Hidden Brow's been on top for a long time and he cuts a lot of weight, so his chin might be a little bit damaged. Edwards versus Usman too. You knew that if it was striking, Usman would have to keep it very physical, very clinched up, dirty boxing. And if he let Leon dictate pace and range, that he would kind of win, that he would have an option to win. I don't see where Khalil's option to win is. What, he's going to leg kick him? He's going to use Muay Thai? He's going to do his fancy little, not even fancy, his kicks on the ground? He's not going to get Alex Pereira in a position where he can do his you owe me money kicks. Everybody's asking, what about the leg kicks? What about them? Khalil's leg kicks are so overrated, dude. I don't think he throws as many as he's going to need to. Adesanya started to chop at Alex Pereira's calf a little bit because he was throwing such a high volume of them. I think that would work better. But Khalil throws a lot of single shot, very meaty, a lot of intention behind them, leg kicks. And I think Alex just counters him. He just lifts his leg a little bit, ducks out of range because he's nimble. A lot of people say that you're only as good as your last fight, and the Anthony Smith fight was very telling. I watched a ton of tape on Khalil, and if you watch him long enough, he's always kind of hunched over, a lot of weight on the front foot, not really a Muay Thai stance per se, and he also has a very low lead hand. So he's open to high left kicks and left hooks, two of Alex's main weapons. Alex Pereira is orthodox, and Khalil Rountree is southpaw, so they end up in open stance. So I think Alex sees this, so he's going to use a lot of outside lead leg kicks, and maybe front kicks up to the body, maybe push kicks to the knee, stuff like that, just tapping at that leg, making Khalil bite on a couple of feints. And then front kicks up the middle to kind of lower Khalil's guard, lower that right hand even more, and then check hook over the top. Alex's strike numbers look like this for most of his fights. 50, 25, 25 was against Izzy. Most of them kind of look like this, maybe swap around 2% here, 2% there. And then you compare that to Khalil, who's way more of a headhunter, up not at 50, but at like 65, 70%. So Alex Pereira is probably going to win the leg kick battle, and he's just going to tap at Khalil until eventually Khalil kind of gets ticked off. I know he's, I don't want to say Buddhist, but he's like pseudo-religious, and he meditates, and he's chill like that, you know? But if you tap at someone enough and wait for Khalil to rush into the blitz, and then he's going to clip him with something. And if Khalil doesn't want to put his foot on the gas, he'll get clipped at range, chopped with leg kicks, and then maybe a high kick up top. Alex Pereira hits people and they turn into Looney Tunes. Strickland turns into a wet noodle. Jamal Hill, he kind of gets bounced and then he falls backwards. He goes, ooh, and his eyes go wide. He goes, awooga, awooga, and he falls backwards. Yuri also kind of just flops over. Like, it's devastating striking. Michailidis in his debut gets folded like a lawn chair. And that combined with Khalil's chin being kind of iffy to strikers, it doesn't make a good combo. This is a really tough fight for Khalil. He doesn't have anything that sets him apart. No X factor. The Muay Thai seems kind of overrated. The power, probably even to Alex. doesn't have wrestling or jiu-jitsu. That's great. Cardio isn't stellar. Khalil has nothing. He has power and explosivity, I guess, speed. So if you're betting on Khalil, what do you bet for? A fluke? You say he's going to kick his knee like Bukowskis? The only thing I can think of is Khalil maybe in the clinch, but Pereira is made out of granite, and he's not going to be manhandled around, all right? He's pretty physical too. So then, like, what are you hoping for? Like a open stance kick to the liver, maybe? That's possible. Almost like Brandon Moreno versus Kai France. But Alex's defense for body kicks, we saw that in the Izzy fight, is pretty good. He's very tall. There's a lot of real estate to hit to the body. It really just seems like Khalil is being set up to fail, to boost Alex a little bit, get one last pay-per-view in before he loses to a Magomed Ankalaev. Maybe he grapples. Maybe he's been bluffing this whole time when he says he's going to test his striking, which is so dumb. Him and Magomed Ankalaev saying they're going to test their striking is so dumb. When you've seen that you can grapple him, Izzy grappled him, Jan Blachowicz grappled him. Khalil is suited for beating old people with no chins and journeymen, and doing it impressively, beating them up like they owed him money. Oh, isn't that crazy? What money did they owe him? Come on, guys. Pennies? I don't know if Khalil's been in Salt Lake City the whole time, but I know for sure that Alex Pereira has been running in the mountains of Utah, so he's not going to gas out again at elevation. Anything can happen in these cards. If you think Khalil Rountree Jr. can beat Alex Pereira, tell me in the comments how he's going to do it. I probably won't believe you, but it would be worth a shot. If you think Alex is going to win, tell me a round, tell me a method. That'd be pretty cool too. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really grateful for all the support lately. Like and subscribe for more MMA content. Have a good time.